What's up, guys? This is Veteran Noob, and today I am back with Phase 4 of my Marvel universe. Yeah, it's been a while since the last video. I've been kind of taking a break of doing these universes videos, but today I'm doing Phase 4. So let's get into this. So the first movie is Doctor Strange. So in this movie, we'll see the origin of Doctor Strange. We'll see Dr. Stephen Strange as a surgeon who gets into a car accident that injures him and he can't work anymore because of his injuries. So he wants to find alternate ways to heal himself, like magic. He learns about the Sorcerer Supreme, who's also known as the Ancient One, and Strange tracks down the Ancient One to Kamar-Taj. Doctor Strange becomes a student of the Ancient One and learns magic. Strange also meets a fellow student of the Ancient One, Wong, and they become allies. Doctor Strange finds out another one of the Ancient One's students, Baron Mordo, is trying to bring back Dormammu and plans to kill the Ancient One. Doctor Strange stops Mordo's attempt at killing the Ancient One and tells the Ancient One about Mordo's plan. Baron Mordo gets banished from Kamar-Taj by the Ancient One, so he plots revenge against Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange goes back to New York and lives in the Sanctum Sanctorum with Wong, and then Mordo attacks the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then Strange and Wong stop Mordo, and the Ancient One gives Strange the title of Sorcerer Supreme. And the post-credit scene will tease Clea. Next movie is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So in this movie, as T'Challa is still settling into his role as king, he discovers he has a cousin named Eric Killmonger who challenges him to the throne. Killmonger wins and he becomes the king of Wakanda and decides to wage war against the rest of the world. So this will be like similar to like the 2018 Black Panther movie that came out in real life, except this is going to be like a sequel to a previous Black Panther movie, and we'll also introduce Everett Ross. So the next movie is Fantastic Four: The Negative Zone. In this movie, Reed Richards discovers a parallel dimension known as the Negative Zone. So the Fantastic Four go to discover the Negative Zone, but they get stuck there. The team learns about the ruler of the Negative Zone, Annihilus, who is using the Cosmic Control Rod to control the inhabitants of the Negative Zone. The secondary villains of the movie will be Blastar and Psycho Man. We also learn that Reed and Sue now have a son named Franklin. Nova will appear in the movie. We'll have a post-credit scene teasing Silver Surfer. Next movie is Iron Man 3. So after the events of Avengers 2, Tony Stark has created a bunch of Iron Man suits. Tony finds out that the Mandarin is hiding in China, so Tony travels to China with his suits to find him. And we find out that Mandarin has awakened the Chinese dragon resembling shape-shifting alien known as Fin Fang Foom. So Fin Fang Foom kills Mandarin and attacks the people of China. Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash will appear briefly in the movie. Shang-Chi will also be introduced in the film. Drax the Destroyer comes to Earth to kill Fin Fang Foom. Iron Man uses the 10 rings to defeat Fin Fang Foom, and post-credit scene will have the Collector collect Fin Fang Foom. So the next movie will be X-Men Asteroid M. In the beginning of this film, we'll see a massive mutant massacre by the Sentinels. This could be like Genosha or something. After this attack, Magneto decides to go back to being evil and decides to go after humanity. Magneto creates Asteroid M and goes to live there with his new Brotherhood of Mutants, which consists of Magneto, Mystique, Blob, Sabretooth, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Destiny, Toad, and Mastermind. The X-Men have to go to Asteroid M and convince Magneto to not kill humans. The movie will also introduce Havoc, Polaris, and Jubilee. Juggernaut will appear briefly in the movie, and the government decides to bomb Asteroid M, so the X-Men work with the Brotherhood to save themselves, and at the end of the movie, Magneto decides to reform and join the X-Men. Next movie is Thor Ragnarok. So the Enchantress has freed the fire giant known as Surtur, and Surtur destroys Asgard, so Thor needs to come back to Asgard to stop Surtur from causing more damage. Odin will die in this movie, Beta Ray Bill, Valkyrie, Balder, and Hercules will be introduced, and Loki will also help Thor fight Surtur. The next movie is Ant-Man Age of Ultron. So Hank Pym has created Ultron to protect humanity, but Ultron decides he wants to get rid of humanity instead. Vision will be introduced. Ultron turns Janet into Jocasta. Scott Lang will be introduced. Avengers members will appear to help Hank fight Ultron. In the end of the movie, Hank will destroy all the Ultron robots, and he will become the Yellow Jacket. Okay, next movie is Ghost Rider. Johnny Blaze will be the Ghost Rider in this film. The movie will be rated R. Mephisto will play a role into this movie. The main villain will be Blackheart, and Blade will show up in a post-credit scene. Next movie is Avengers Infinity War. This movie will be a lot like the actual Avengers Infinity War, but with a lot of changes to fit the universe. The Guardians of the Galaxy won't be in the movie because they don't exist in this universe, but Nebula, Gamora, Drax will appear, but they won't be members guards. And also the X-Men and Fantastic Four will be a part of the movie. So next movie is Spider-Man 5. This movie will take place before Infinity War. Peter has now graduated from Empire State University and he's with MJ now, but Eddie Brock now has the symbiote and wants revenge on Peter for ruining his life. Eddie and the symbiote, they bond together over their hatred of Peter and become Venom. And also Daredevil will be in this movie. Next movie is Wolverine Japan. After the events of Infinity War, Wolverine decides to just go back to Japan. Yukio will play a role in the movie. Lady Deathstrike finds out that Wolverine is in Japan and she decides she needs to kill him. And Lady Deathstrike is a cyborg who's the daughter of the Japanese kingpin Kenji Oyama, and she's now took over the role of Kingpin after the death of her father. The reason why Lady Deathstrike wants to kill Wolverine is because her father made the adamantium in Wolverine's body, and she thinks he didn't deserve the adamantium. Sunfire will appear in this movie, and Silver Samurai will be a secondary villain. The final movie of Phase 4 will be Avengers Endgame. So the movie will be a lot like Avengers Endgame, but it'll fit more into this universe. Instead of 5 years, we'll have it be 1 year because 5 years, that's a bit too long. Instead of the whole like Ant-Man coming back from like the quantum realm shit, like it's gonna be Hank Pym has been in his lab for 1 year working on a way to fix the snap and comes across time travel. And instead of that scene of like Hawkeye and Black Widow in Vormir where Black Widow sacrifices herself, it's going to be Hank and Janet will be the one to sacrifice herself. For TV shows, we'll have X Factor, She-Hulk, Thunderbolts, Loki, and Wakanda. Okay, so the first movie of Phase 5 will be Blade. The main villain will be Deacon Frost. The movie will be R-rated. Jamal Afari will be Blade's mentor in the movie. Hannibal King will also appear in this movie, and Dracula will appear in this movie. So the next movie is Doctor Strange Nexus of Nightmares. So Doctor Strange will meet Clea in this movie, and Clea will tell Strange and Wong about how Nightmare is using his powers to feed off people's dreams. Doctor Strange sees Nightmare in his dreams, so Strange, Clea, and Wong go into the dream dimension to confront Nightmare. Dr. Voodoo, Ghost Rider, and Moon Knight will appear in this movie. Shuma Gorath will be a secondary villain in the film. Baron Mordo will also appear, and the post-credit scene will tease Dormammu. The next movie is Black Panther Doomed Nation. Doctor Doom is back and reclaimed throne of Latveria and decided he wants to go to war with Wakanda. So in this movie, Shuri will also be a hero who helps T'Challa. So T'Challa also decides to start an alliance with Namor and the Atlanteans, since both nations are enemies of Latveria. Storm will appear in the movie, and at the end of the movie, Wakanda defeats Latveria. Next movie is Captain Marvel. So in this movie, we will see Carol Danvers get her powers from her boyfriend Walter Lawson, who she finds out is Captain Mar-Vell of the Kree Empire. Mar-Vell tells Carol about the Kree, and he warns her that they are going to attempt to invade Earth. The main villain of this movie will be Yon-Rogg, and he will kill Mar-Vell for betraying the Kree. Carol becomes the new Captain Marvel and works with S.H.I.E.L.D. to fight the Kree. Skrulls will be mentioned but won't appear. Ronan, Korath, and Minerva will be secondary villains, and Carol will also infiltrate the Kree ship and meet the Supreme Intelligence. So, next movie is Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. In this movie, the Silver Surfer arrives on Earth to tell the Fantastic Four that this world belongs to Galactus now. Fantastic Four will fight the Silver Surfer, but lose to him. In this movie, we will see the origin of the Silver Surfer. A lot of this movie will be Fantastic Four preparing for the coming of Galactus. The Watcher will appear in this movie. The Silver Surfer captures the Thing's wife, Alicia, but after talking to her, gets convinced to stop working for Galactus. The Silver Surfer decides that he doesn't want to work with the Galactus anymore, and he decides to help the Fantastic Four stop Galactus from eating the Earth. And at the end of the movie, Galactus will appear. So next movie is X-Men Dark Phoenix. We find out that at the end of the previous X-Men movie, when the team left Asteroid M, Jean Grey got exposed to radiation from a solar flare. So Jean Grey is now the Dark Phoenix and is now evil. So the Hellfire Club discovers Jean and they convince her to join them. So Cyclops fights the Hellfire Club to save Jean, but then Jean leaves the planet. So the team tracks her down to space and they find her attacking the Shi'ar Empire. And at the end of the movie, Jean sacrifices her life to get rid of the Phoenix Force. Next movie is Spider-Man 6. Peter Parker is now a science teacher and Miles Morales is one of his students. Dr. Octopus has assembled the Sinister Six, who will be the villains of the movie. The Sinister Six will be Dr. Octopus, Vulture, Kraven, Rhino, Sandman, and Mysterio. And also, Peter will propose to MJ, and at the end of the movie, Miles gets bitten by a radioactive spider. So the next movie is Fantastic Four: The Coming of Galactus. Galactus has came to eat the Earth. The Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer are going to stop him. They also get help with a bunch of other heroes. We will be introduced to the new Heralds of Galactus, who will be Airwalker, Firelord, Terrax, and Stardust. So at the end of the movie, the Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer defeat Galactus. So the last movie of this phase is Wolverine Most Wanted. The main villain will be Daken. This movie will introduce Laura Kinney. So in this movie, Wolverine's son Daken wants to kill him. Deadpool will also have a significant role in this movie. And for TV shows, Excalibur, What If, Cloak and Dagger, X-Force, and Mantis. The first movie is Midnight Suns. The team will consist of Ghost Rider, Blade, Moon Knight, Man-Thing, Elsa Bloodstone, Dr. Voodoo, and Hannibal King. So the team will form to fight Lilith, and the movie will be rated R. Next movie is X-Men Age of Apocalypse. One of the first mutants and one of the most powerful mutants, Apocalypse, returns to take over the world and get rid of the weak. Apocalypse has his four horsemen, who will be Archangel, which is the horseman of death, Sunfire, who's the horseman of famine, Polaris, who is the horseman of pestilence, and Colossus, who is the horseman of war. The X-Men and many mutants come together to stop Apocalypse. At the end of the movie, Archangel breaks free of Apocalypse controls and betrays. Apocalypse will be defeated by Cable. The next movie is Doctor Strange Dark Dimension. In this movie, Doctor Strange and Clea find out that Dormammu is about to escape the Dark Dimension and conquer Earth. So Doctor Strange and Clea go into the Dark Dimension to stop Dormammu. The Ancient One will die in this movie, and we learn that Clea is the niece of Dormammu, and Dormammu will escape the Dark Dimension, so Doctor Strange, Wong, and Clea defeat. So the next movie is Silver Surfer. This movie will take place after Galactus has been defeated. The movie will deal with Silver Surfer trying to make amends for all the death and destruction he's caused working for Galactus. Adam Warlock will be created to fight Silver Surfer. We will see flashbacks of Silver Surfer when he was just Norrin Rad. The Watcher, Drax, Nova, and the Living Tribunal will appear in the movie. The next movie is Avengers Secret Wars Part 1. So in this movie, the Beyonder brings many heroes and villains to Battle World so that they can fight each other. The Beyonder, he's this cosmic entity who has become fascinated with the Earth's heroes and creates Battle World for them to fight. All the heroes and villains were kidnapped by the Beyonder and are forced to fight against their wills. There are characters who want to leave Battle World and don't want to fight, but there are some characters who just want to fight. We will see a lot of heroes and villains that have appeared in this universe. Heroes will battle against their own villains. The heroes decide to form an alliance to defeat the Beyonder and get back to where they're from. At the end of the movie, the heroes and villains go to stop Beyonder, but then suddenly the Beyonder gets depowered. We find out that Doctor Doom has used Molecule Man to drain the powers of the Beyonder and use them for himself. So the next movie is Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. The movie will be R-rated. The main villain will be Blackout. Movie will take place after Midnight Suns. Danny Ketch will be introduced, and Dr. Voodoo, Moon Knight, and Elsa Bloodstone will have appearances. So the next movie is Blade, Tomb of Dracula. So Dracula has been awoken from his tomb, so Blade is on a mission to kill Dracula. This movie will be again R-rated. Lilith Drake, the daughter of Dracula, will appear in the movie. Both of Blade's parents will also make appearances in the movie, and at the end of the movie, Blade finally kills Dracula. The next movie is Avengers Secret Wars Part 2. Doom now has the powers of the Beyonder and is now God Emperor Doom. So Doctor Doom is the new ruler of Battleworld, and all the other characters in Battleworld are his slaves. Heroes will plan an uprising against Doom. Doom will kill a lot of characters who try to fight against him. The characters find out that Beyonder is still alive, but very weak. Mr. Fantastic comes up with a plan where he distracts Doom and uses Molecule Man to take away Doom's powers and give it back to the Beyonder. And the plan works and Doom dies. The Beyonder decides to bring all the characters back to where they're from since they helped him get his powers back. The final movie of this phase, which is kind of like an epilogue movie, will be Captain Marvel's Secret Invasion. The Skrulls have been secretly invading Earth, and we found out a lot of important people in this universe were actually Skrulls. Spectrum and Kamala Khan will be in this movie, and at the end of the movie, Captain Marvel will fight Super Skrull. So for TV shows, Inhumans, Black Widow and Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Gambit and Rogue, and the Young Avengers. So that was phase 6 of my Marvel universe. Yeah, that's about it. So I'm done for my Marvel universe. I'm probably not gonna make a phase 7 till way later, and I'd make phase 7 of my DC universe first. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and yeah, again, I just want to say I am not saying I'm better than like Kevin Feige and like my universe is better than the real like MCU, because like, these are just ideas in my head. What I'm saying is I'm not better than the actual filmmakers who make these movies. I'm just saying this is my own, like, these are my own ideas that, I want to share. So, hope you guys enjoyed this series. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and goodbye.